Hello StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another weekly edition of Into the Void! This is a game between Phalonias and TheOldDude on Ruins of Endion. I don't think I've ever cast an Into the Void game on this map, so we'll spend a bit of time exploring it. In the bottom left side of the map we have the red Terran player, it is Phalonias. Sounds Roman. And in the bottom right side of the map we have the blue Protoss player, it is TheOldDude, representing Clan Old. Alright, so a PvT here for your Into the Void enjoyment this week after the ZVZ last week, which is a lot of fun. Put a link to the top right in here because I promise if you like Into the Void, that will be a good one. I know a lot of you don't like mirror matchups. Didn't get a whole lot of attention on it, but man, the people that watched it liked it a lot. So again, go watch the ZVZ from last week and be happy. Alright, so this is Ruins of Endion. It is an interesting map. It is new to the ladder pool as of a couple of weeks ago. And the interesting thing is the quickest way to get to your opponent, as it's a two-player map here, stealing some gas is TheOldDude, and actually pulling a lot of SCVs off here to deal with this. Okay, this is not the right decision. TheOldDude basically spent one mining probe and one assimilator to get all of these SCVs off the line for a long time. Look at this. They're not even killing it before it finishes. Not a good choice. Bad. Don't do this. Don't do this, players. Oh, I forgot to say, this is a Silver versus Silver League play. So definitely we're going to see some mistakes here we can discuss. Barracks coming up here now, and look, he didn't even get the assimilator, so don't do that. Do not pull SCVs off the line to deal with that. Alright, so two-player map. You cannot spawn up in these top corners. It's only down here and down here. The quickest way to your opponent is knocking down these rocks, then walking across this way, knocking down these rocks, and then getting to your opponent's front door. Now, the thing is, that's hard to do in the early game. Like, Reapers can't really do that, Stalkers can't do that, Lings can't do that very quickly either, so you have to go this way all the way up around here, past the Selnaga Watchtower, down again until you are right here at the ramp of your opponent. Now, this Marine is going to be able to take down the assimilator. Eventually, it will take some time, but we'll get there. TheOldDude actually going for an expansion here, so it turns into something of a one-gate expand with a forge mixed in. Now, again, at the higher levels, the forge is pretty much unnecessary in the early game unless you're planning on cannon rushing, and it doesn't look like TheOldDude is doing that. There are no probes over here. There are no pylons over here, but for base defense, you just shouldn't need cannons. That's just my pro tip of the day. Alright, the other thing interesting about this map is you have your main base here, your natural base here, and then what is often your third base is taken by rocks. So Zergs are going to have a hard time taking a third here. They will most likely pop on up here to this section of the map as you're watching on the minimap where that is in relation. And there are these backdoor rocks that are kind of protecting it, but can also be an invitation for big armor to move up and try to kill it. So keep that in mind. Where your Zerg opponent will likely take their third is going to be here. Where your Protoss and Terran opponents will likely take their third is often going to be here. But I have seen Terrans and Protosses skip this one for the more easily accessible yet farther away third. So we'll watch and see how that goes, depending on what the decisions are made here. APM for these guys is under 100. Phalonias on an average of 82. TheOldDude spiking up around 30, maybe 40, and 50. 50 on a good time there too. So yes, this is definitely Silver League versus Silver League. We're going to explore what changes can be made to these players' playstyles and also have a little bit of fun as well. It's always fun to look at what's not standard, right? I mean, if this was a PvT standard, you'd probably have a 1-gate expand and a 1-racks expand. It'd be really boring, but no, look at this, going for 2 racks and a factory before you see the command center coming out of here of Phalonias. TheOldDude again throwing the forge into the mix, getting a single cannon, perhaps worried about Reapers. He might have struggled with Reapers in the past, but really all you need to do against Reapers, if you've watched any of my pro games, is just get your mothership core out, which TheOldDude has not done. No, always get a mothership core. Dear Protoss player named TheOldDude, get your mothership core out. Thank you, love Falcon. Just because for base defense, you can photon overcharge pylons, so good against Reapers. Get a couple stalkers out. Adepts, also very good against Reapers. If you just get those out early, without Zealots, Zealots are a bad choice because they're slow. You're going to be okay. These cannons, too, really overkill at this point from TheOldDude, but they are going to actually deal with any attempt of Marines to get up here, that's for sure. So maybe TheOldDude will be proven right. Maybe the meta at Silver requires you to have cannons or you will die. I don't know. More and more Marines coming out. Some Marauders starting here, getting stim, getting tanks. Phalonias knows what he's doing. And again, I'm going to say this again, as I always do. These are not your daddy's Bronze and Silver League players. These guys know what they're doing. They've watched a lot of StarCraft. They know basic build orders. They know basic compositions. They may even know basic timings. They know to get upgrades. They know to make supply depots. They know to make pylons. As you can see, neither of these players have been supply blocked yet. which is to be commended and darn impressive. The old dude actually has 70 supply in pylons, which seems like maybe a little bit too much, but whatever at this point. Harvesters 27 to 23. Phalonias has the lead 28 to 23. Old dude continuing to make those pylons, but not double pumping them, which is something you want to do. You definitely want to get your workers up to what it says here on top of the nexus. 16 out of 16. Same thing here, 16 out of 16. There we go, getting some probes on both of the nexuses. Now, again, there's just a lot going on. I can totally understand how things get dropped, but always make workers, always make supply. That is what Day9 has said time and time again back when he actually talked about StarCraft. And Proxy Twilight Council from the old dude, possibly going to go for DTs here, which again are super good in the lower levels and can even be very good in the higher levels. I've seen some pros go for DTs and actually win games with them. So the old dude is going to try to make this thing work. I definitely applaud his energy and his decision-making skills and his audacity to try to make this thing happen. Nobody going for a third yet, so that's a difference again between pros and the lower levels. Is taking another base is very scary, and often the macro won't allow it. As you can see here, not much income coming in from this base here, which would allow for the third base as well. Pretty much ghost town at that second base at the same time. So here comes a Marine tank push, very standard, has been so since the beginning of Wings of Liberty. Here come the Marines. How are they going to do this thing? There are cannons, but guess what? Tanks outrange cannons, walking up, sieging up, walking up here, trying to deal with things and getting some shots off on that cannon, taking shots from the cannons though, and a force field being tossed down. I don't know, I guess that was maybe a panicked force field. That's okay. Here come the Marines again. They can do it this time, and yes, the tank support is immensely helpful here. Both cannons gone now. There's still a cannon down here. Photon overcharge is still up. There is a mothership core here, so keep that in mind. Did he have one? No, he didn't. Based on the energy, he hasn't had one the whole game. More Marines, more Marauders coming up, and this pressure is looking a little bit scary for the old dude. Phalonias is up 65 to 51 total supply, 30 to 19 on that armor supply, and this tank count is up to 3. Yes, it is a Dark Shrine on the way for the old dude. He needs DTs bad. So bad here. All right, so what do? Oh, Hallucinated Phoenix. Or Hallucinated Phoenix. Hallucinated Colossus. Oh, I wonder if that's actually going to trick... That might actually trick Phalonias into thinking there are Colossus here. Nope, it evaporated. If he knows the animation for watching watching a hallucinated unit die, it poofs instead of explodes. I wish I could get into Phalonias' mind right now because I don't know what he's thinking about that. I really don't. All right. Either way, here come the tanks. Here come the Marines. Here come the Marauders. Can they get in there and start doing some work? And yes, shots off, trying to get that pylon. Couldn't quite kill it, though. And now they sniped it down. Well done. Losing some Marines here and there, but pretty good bouncing back and forth by Phalonias, letting the tanks do a lot of the work. Just spotting for him, providing high ground vision for them is Phalonias, and the old dude is in a lot of trouble here. Assimilator being taken down. DTs, here they are. The DTs getting mixed in. How much energy does Phalonias have? I don't actually know. Is he going to scan? Does he recognize what's happening here? Losing an Adept, but the Marauder count getting pretty low here too. All the tanks are gone. DTs breaking this very handily indeed. Is there any energy? There's enough energy there for a scan and enough for, no, not enough there. So basically just barely got a single scan there available, and it did not end up helping too much. All right, so now Medivacs, Vikings, infantry armor level 1. I would almost just get a Raven if I was Phalonias. That's another tip. If you see DTs like 3, 4, 5 DTs to the point where it feels like the Protoss is committing to them, go ahead and get a Raven. I know it does make you put a tech lab onto your starport to do it, but it's so darn worth it. And really, that permanent detection helps avoid things like this. Oh, I thought they were going to attack. Never mind. They did not attack. Instead, they decided to head over to this base. In the background, you may actually have noticed you're hearing Brood War music. If this is your first time hearing this on the channel, do not be alarmed. This is not Brood War. This is StarCraft 2, a scan trying to kill those DTs. I just found a YouTube channel that had the Brood War music, and I'm playing it in the background while I play the game, and it works out super well. I really, really like this stuff. Good nostalgia for everybody who played StarCraft 1 back in the day. I was 14 or 15 when it came out. Not very old indeed. And I just remember playing it with my friends. It was one of the best experiences to play with friends because you never knew who was going to be good. Right? You show up to these LAN parties and you'd know your friends, you could beat them, but then they'd show up with somebody else and they'd beat you, and you'd spend all your time practicing so you could beat this stupid guy who can six pool really well. But it was just always, it was a very good multiplayer game, and the campaigns were super fantastic too. I was playing that campaigns up through like 2006, 2007 before StarCraft 2 was released, watching the professional games too. I'm still playing Brood War. I mean, Korea stuck on Brood War for a long time. even after StarCraft 2 was released, and just some amazing, amazing play from those guys. All right, stimming forward. Here come the Marauders with the stim. Going for it. There is an Immortal here doing fairly well, but pulling back is the old dude. I like this. Mothership Core getting a photon charge up, and might actually end up dead. No, still alive somehow, some way. No, ends up getting destroyed there by the anti-air with the Vikings trying to come on in the Archons. Are they attack moving? Was that not an attack move? Oh, no, I don't know what that was, but it did not go well at all. DTs are luckily here to clean things up. A lot of Marauders dying. Are there scans? There is a scan, but it's too late. All the Marauders are gone. All that's left here is a single Viking and a single probe that's throwing down a forward pylon. Another thing, you don't need to do forward pylons anymore. If you have... That's not a forward pylon. That's a defensive pylon. I'm a liar. All right, so the old dude does have a single pylon here. You can also, if you're under a lot of pressure, knock down this rock tower to provide additional help to you. So for sure, be sure to do that if you're worried about stuff coming in. Just delays the attacking army. DT here denying this base. Whap. Thanks for playing SCV. Nobody likes your style. Run, run. Also, Concussive Shell is really good with Marauders. So Concussive Shell slows units when Marauders attack them, and it's right here. Concussive Shells, 50 and 50. It's really good with DTs, because did you see that? How the DT was inside the scan area and then the Marauder hit it and it just kept kind of going and getting on out of there? With Concussive Shell, it would have slowed it down and allowed the Marauder to get more hits off, allowed these guys to show up and actually take it out. So, I mean, that upgrade was the difference between that DT escaping with its life and not for the old dude. So keep that in mind. 4 Archons coming up now for the old dude. His army supply going to take a nice bump here. And yes, it does. Takes the lead over Phalonias, 36 to 35 on the army supply. 43 versus 43 harvesters. Has anybody killed any workers? The old dude has killed 3 SCVs, mostly with DT attacks. And no probes have died thus far. The old dude says, heck, why not just take a base up here? Yeah, I proxied my stuff, but let's go ahead and take a whole base up here, getting both assimilators. If you're going to get assimilators, just fill them. As Protoss, you're going to need gas. I know you have a lot of gas now, but Archons, Colossus, Immortals, Disruptors, Carriers, everything you can make at this point is going to need a lot of gas. So stockpile that up as best you can. Always, always fill your assimilators to the fullest of their potential. I see 2 there. I see 3 here, so that's good. But anyway, we'll see if that actually comes back to bite the old dude or not. Perhaps it's something he's worked out and a strategy I am unaware of. Liberators on the way for Phalonias. There it is. Heading on up. There are some missile turrets here. Again, I think that worrying about the Dark Templar is what motivated that. +2 attack coming up. +2 attack just finishing for the old dude. Phalonias and the old dude both working on their upgrades. Very good to see. These players will be out of silver in no time. Marines. And there we go. Taking on these rocks. This is what I was talking about. It's a straight shot over here. This base may be under a lot of pressure very, very soon indeed. But taking the base up here finally is Phalonias. The DT is gone. For reasons I don't understand, I feel like you just put a DT up here and nothing was chasing it away, but either way, Templar Archives coming on up, actually lifting and just going to boost across the rocks. Phalonias says, never mind, I'm not interested necessarily in doing that. Viking has landed and picks up and runs as it gets a shot from the Archon, and Phalonias backs on out. Alright, so the old dude is aware of what's going on here. He's going to knock down the rocks and try to kill this army himself. Alrighty then, can we do this thing? Archons, they do have the +2 attack. So good against biological. 43 damage versus biological. Get these things, man. They are good. Goodbye, Liberator. Yep, got some shots off, but not enough. And here we go. Zealots taking damage. Archons doing damage. This is how you want to do this if you are Protoss at this level. Wow, DT even mixed in here as well, which seems a little bit unnecessarily. The Archons splash damaging their way to victory against those medevacs. And that was a big, big deal. Resources lost here. 8,000 lost by Phalonias versus 5,000. For the old dude. The old dude could actually probably push here and win. That's another lesson you need to learn at the lower levels, is if you just absolutely destroy an opponent's army and there's nothing left at all, go ahead and push. Like, see what there is. Maybe they've got stuff at their base they can propel you with, and in that case, go ahead and back off. Like, you don't have to commit, but get up and in there and just destroy. I mean, there's nothing here for Phalonias. Phalonias has 8 Marines, a Marauder, a Liberator, and 3 Vikings. That's it. This game should be over by the old dude if he pushed a little bit here, but instead he's waiting for Storm. He is waiting for +2 armor, which I can't blame him for. He's expanding once again. This is really good macro for silver, actually, and he does have full saturation on his assimilators now. Not this one, still not this one, but those 2 he did. Gateway, gateway, gateway. Always make producing structures if you're starting to float a lot of money here. He is. So he just threw down additional stargates, some additional gateways, and that should help him spend his money more quickly. I love it. I like what I see here today. Planetary Fortress coming up. That's going to be a PF. with the missile turrets, that is essentially DT proof at that point. If you're a Terran and you're struggling against Dark Templars, go ahead and get a planetary fortress and a couple missile turrets at your bases you're worried about, and they can hold off DTs pretty darn easily. So always good to see that Phalonias has learned that lesson. This base is oversaturated. Probably should transfer some workers over here from there. He's done a good job transferring the workers out of here, though. No idle workers. This is something you see a lot in the lower levels, is once this refinery or assimilator or extractor has basically lost all of its gas, has been mined out, these workers will just sit there doing nothing. And you have to actually manually tell them what else to do next. So I like to see that Phalonias has done that. And yep, same thing for the old dude. He doesn't have any idle workers down here either. Going for a fleet beacon. Is he going to go for carriers? Oh, go for carriers. Carriers are so good at this level because targeting carriers is not something silver players are very good at. All right, here comes Phalonias. He lost that first battle a big time. And this second one, too, you know what, is not going to go well for him. It just isn't. So he backs out. He sees what he sees. He sees a lot of Archons with +2/+2. Cloak coming up. Cloaking field for Banshees? Is that what that is? Yeah, Banshee Cloak. Taking out a missile turret, walking on in. There's a single Liberator here. Missile turret trying to snipe down that Observer, and does get it. Did they get the Observer? I can't tell. Scan there too. Tanks, Liberator set up, ready to go. Walk. Oh, sniping down that Templar very quickly. The old dude, once again, could probably win this, but he just doesn't want to take the chance. And this time, I don't blame him. It's always scary when there are tanks and Liberators on the high ground. You don't know how many tanks there are. There are 2. What their upgrades are like. So just back on out. If you're ahead, get more ahead. Continue to make units. Maybe don't sit in your mineral line and force your workers to walk through you in order to get their stuff done. That's probably not comfortable. Like, walking right through an Archon to mine your minerals has got to feel weird. Look at that. Just sitting right under the Archon. No big deal. No bigs. Tempest actually on the way. Okay, so the old dude has learned from my cast and is making Tempest to deal with the Liberators. I am okay with that. Explosive shrapnel shells coming up. Increases the damage of Raven auto turrets and Seeker missiles by 30%. Is he getting Ravens then? Yes, he has a Raven. Alright. I like it. I like the Raven discussion here. As I said before, getting Ravens is very nice indeed. Kind of queuing up some units here, which is a problem because he has another empty starport. So if you're queuing up units on one starport and you have another one ready to go, go ahead and switch it over. Cancel this one, just click on it. Move it over here, and you'll be a much, much happier Terran player. Income tab, 47 to 50 workers. Phalonias is a little bit behind, but it's not too bad in the long run. Units lost 8,000 to 5,000. Still, no real major skirmishes since then. And here goes the old dude trying to push up. There's a Thor mixed in here now. The Raven with... does Raven PDD block enemy missiles? Cannot target special attacks. That's not a missile, right? Psionic Shockwave. I don't know if Point Defense Drone stops Archon attacks. I know it stops Tempest attacks. I know it stops Stalker attacks. But I don't know if it stops Archon attacks. So I'm going to look that up. But let me know in the comments if I'm being an idiot. Because I don't think it should. I don't feel like it should. These feel like melee to me, even though they do have a range of 3. Doesn't feel like a projectile. So maybe... I don't know. I don't know. We're going to stop worrying about it. 2 more Stargates on the way for the old dude. What is going on? He's going Mass Tempest here. Tempest sniping down a Marine. Tempests are not very good. PDD absorbing the shots, and here we go. Trying to kill them. Some defense coming in from the old dude with a lot of Archons, and backing out is Phalonias. PDD doing its job, and it's going to time out here. It only lasts for 14 seconds. Setting up a Defender mode, Circle, and a good Storm on the Liberator. Taking it down. Everybody together now. Tempests and Archons. Trying to set up the tanks and get shots off. The old dude being timid once again and going for it. Big, nice Storm. Wow, amazing Storm right on those tanks, forcing Phalonias back once again, running all the way back to the safety of this large ramp to his natural, and the old dude pulls back once more. 172 to 114 total supply, armor supply 119 to 63, almost doubling up his opponent's supply here. The old dude looking good, using Storms, using upgraded Archons, getting +3 attack, getting Graviton Catapult. Is he actually going to make carriers? The old dude make carriers. Come on, man. Do it for Falcon Paladin. Upgrade air weapons level 1, upgrade air armor level 2. And again, Dark Shrine over here. Okay, alright, so if you're Phalonias, what do you do here? You're basically super oversaturated here at this one base. You need to expand. I mean, you're so oversaturated here too. Just do it. He is actually expanding. He is sending the orbital command up there. Maybe expand twice? Doesn't quite have the money to do that. Once again, just mineral poor and gas Gas free. Oh no, Cloaked Banshees. Cloaked Banshees, run, Cloaked Banshees. There's an Overseer somewhere here, but sniping down some workers and sticking around. A little bit too long losing one of the Banshees, but they are fast. They don't have the Hyperflight Rotors upgrade, but they are still pretty darn fast. This base in trouble too. Where's the Observer? Where is it? I don't see it. They're going to lose a lot of workers here. Phalonias trying to get back into this thing, killing workers with the Cloaked Banshee harass. Losing another one, though. Because where the heck is that Observer? Right in here somewhere. There's just so much blue. Oh, nope. This is like, where's Waldo? Where's the Observer? Anyway, heading on down because there's now a push from Phalonias trying to get up on here with more Banshees. Liberator setting up with that Defender mode. Circle. Vikings taking shots there too. Big old Storm on his own units. Oh no! Oh no. Storming his own Zealots. Taking off all those shields. But expanding. So Phalonias did what I think he needed to do. Get some harassment in there. He's killed 11 workers now. Expand behind it. Do a little bit of a push. Don't commit too fully. But yeah, I don't know if Liberators are even the answer at this point. There are so many Tempest here. 5 Tempest. 2 carriers in production for the old dude. More Banshees, more tanks, more Marauders. None of these can shoot up, which is a bit of a problem. If the carriers show up, this might just be the end of it for Phalonias. How are the upgrades on these guys? +2/+2, not really working with a +3/+3 yet. Charge lots getting right on top of everything. Going to kill that tank. Storming his own units again. Ah! Ow, say the Zealots. We don't like that. I don't know why they sound like aliens, but specifically, what are the alien lizards on Futurama? Let me know in the comments. Can't remember. All right, so Tempest, Archon, 100,000 Templar. Look at that. 16 High Templar, 18 Zealots, 5 Tempest, a Marauder, and 7 Archon. This is an interesting composition against Terran, and I sort of like it. What I'm wondering, I don't know, like what would a pro even do against this if you're Terran? I think just go straight Marine Marauder, try to stim your way to victory, try to dodge storms as best you can, because there's going to be a lot of storms in that situation. Do you maybe go, again, Liberator's not a good answer. Wow. I like this. Maybe the old dude has found a new meta. Maybe Mass Viking, right? So you bring the Vikings in, you snipe down the Tempests and the carriers from range where the Archons can't hit you, and then just bring in Banshees and just deal with everything from there. Maybe? And maybe just Marine Marauder after that would be better, but the High Templar, the storm potential is amazing. All right, whatever. We're going to see how the Phalonias decides to do this thing. The answer is going to be a lot of Marauders, which again cannot shoot up. Fusion Core coming out here. Maybe Battle Cruisers can be good, although Battle Cruisers do not have a very good track record of winning games in StarCraft 2. They just don't. And look at this. There is the double expand from Phalonias. So the probes scout this out and say, uh-oh, that's not good. 55 to 51 total harvesters. Neither player really willing to get much above that 50 break. And here's the old dude, maxed out at silver level with +3/+3 ground, +2/+1 air, and a partridge in a pear tree. All right, Fusion Core, show us your secrets. What do you plan on allowing Phalonias to do here? You have 2 seconds. Ready, set, go. Tell me it's battle cruisers. Just do it. Just say about it. I don't even care if it is. It is! It's battle cruiser! Woo! Battle cruiser in production. Sorta, kinda. It's in queue. It'll get there eventually. Banshees once again trying to kill as many workers as possible from this stim position. No cannons to prevent this. Mind you, the army completely out of position. Here goes the old dude. He's going to try to base race this thing. And is it going to work? I don't know. A lot of dead workers here. It's down to 44 workers. But guess what? Huge attack up here too. Nothing defending. Storms on top of everything. Carriers, Archons, Zealots, Templar, Tempest killing workers. Not something you want to see ever. If you are a Terran player, the army coming up and trying to defend against this one too. Storms once again hitting its own units more than anything, but a lot of dead workers there. A lot of dead. 37 workers killed by the old dude. 22 by Phalonias, abandoning his intent. He sends the Banshees up with everybody else to try to do this thing with a small Sky Toss army. Is it enough? Not enough, Vikings. I don't think. Battle Cruiser's not going to be good enough either here. And here come the Marauders and the Marines stimming backwards, then stimming forward, and just go for it, man. Here it is. With Thors mixed in too. Big storms on everything, though. Backing out of the storm, storming his own units again as the old dude is walking through those psionic storms. And actually, to the benefit of our Terran player here. So can he do this thing? Pretty good positioning. I like this. The Archons are all stuck in a bit of a choke. Good Storm on the backside. Big Storm gets eaten there by Phalonias. Like I said, Storms are just pretty much the order of the day when you have 18 Templar. Okay, alright, so it's 116 to 45 total supply. The old dude lost a lot there. But Phalonias has lost 26,000 resources. The old dude has lost 14,000. And it's 44 to 18 harvesters. The old dude did lose about 10 workers, but not all that many. Pretty much only Sky Army left here. A few Archons. Again, a ton of Templar, which can't necessarily attack. Long distance mining coming up here from Phalonias. Zealots getting mixed on in here too. With that +3/+3. So good. So good, our Zealots. Even in late game with the +3/+3. And there's our battle cruiser. This is the savior of Terran. The BC. Or rather, it should be, but it never is. Is this guy a cyborg? Is that what we're to understand here? Like, he has a replacement ear. And it looks like a replacement eye. Maybe he's just straight up robot. I don't know. Attacking at the same time. Here comes a small army. Big army this way, though. Planetary Fortress trying to kill stuff. Gets one kill before it explodes. Storms on top of all of them. Their workers. This attack is still, as of yet, undefeated. Battle cruiser operational. Doing as much damage to this worker line as possible. But the recall from the old dude. Oh, the old dude. Nice recall. Getting in there with everybody. And that's it. A GG from Phalonias. Phalonias is defeated. The old dude is victorious. And Phalonias has left the game. Alright, so the old dude doesn't look like he wants to go home yet. He wants to kill everything that is on the ground. So we will go ahead and leave that to him, but we'll disable the sound and wrap things up. Alright. Again, this is just a fun composition. Zealot, Archon, Tempest, Carrier, Storm against Terran. Maybe you go mech against this? No. Mysterious indeed. Alright, so that's it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another weekly edition of Into the Void. Go ahead and send me your Into the Void replay, which means bronze or silver, to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Into the Void, or I won't see it. I'll send it to my screeners. I will ask them what they think about the best ones, and we'll get some cast once a week, every night on Friday. Alright, that's it for me today then. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another edition of Into the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
Broken and ashamed by what you have done. There is no redemption, and so you must run. And it's taken your heart and broken your soul. You cannot go back until you're made whole. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live, a place you can love. Is it just an illusion? When push comes to shove, there's a light upon you, and you follow it on, looking for a reason and a way to atone. All around you, the planets and stars. You're lost in a maelstrom of a great new unknown. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live, a place you can love. Is it just an illusion? When push comes to shove, and you're running into the void. You go searching into the void. And you're running into the void.